context of what I talked to you about, how Moxy monitors are playing a major role in seeing unique physiological aspects related to a given athlete's performance or how they respond to a given type of workout, one of the things that I think is really going to become very valuable, it is for me so far, in working with athletes and their coaches or directly working with athletes, is oftentimes an athlete comes to me and asks the question, Dr. Broeder, I don't really understand why I feel this at this point in my workout, or I'm racing and I'm in the middle of an event and I start to feel a muscle cramp in my left leg or my right leg, and I don't understand because it tends to be very specific all the time. It's always my left leg that's cramping, not my right leg. And so if you go back to my answer in relationship to seeing muscle imbalances, I actually had an athlete just 2 weeks ago come in who desaturates in his right leg about 10 to 15% more than his left leg. He's an elite Cat 2 mountain bike racer, is doing very, very well in that. But for some odd reason, even though he stays well saturated at the start of exercise, once the intensity is really high and he starts desaturating, he desaturates in his right leg. And it may be related to the fact that he pushes a little harder on his right leg. He uses a little bit more of the muscle, so he's extracting more oxygen. Well, what's really cool about Moxy data, especially when that athlete can see it on the screen, is that we can actually show him that when he is pedaling at this wattage and this RPMs under this situation, his right leg is doing this desaturation process, and he can utilize that while he's training when he's monitoring with the Moxy monitors to kind of reorientate his pedal stroke in a way that allows him to minimize that desaturation. In our case, in the lab with him, that desaturation actually shut him off during our trial in our study. When his right leg dropped below 40%, his left leg was still at 60 or 70% of oxygen saturation. And so by altering his pedal stroke and helping to minimize the right leg desaturation, he was able to continue and perform at that high level that he was. So what I find is really valuable with Moxy is because it's real time and it tracks exactly what that athlete's doing, you can utilize it to monitor the athlete's performance and let him make performance adjustments in the gearing, in whether he's pushing a big gear or a small gear when he's going up a hill, and that athlete in real time can make adjustments. On a personal level, that's exactly how I use Moxy when I do my own training. I've been cycling for about 45 years. I focus primarily on ultra-endurance cycling. And as I've gotten older and moved into my 60s, and I don't have a lot of power and a lot of excess room up above, where I'm always pretty much working extremely hard on a big climb, because as you get older, you don't have as much reserve. The end result is that I can use not only my power output and my cadence, but I can look at my Moxy monitor numbers and readjust my gear so I can be doing the same power, but at a higher cadence. And that allows me to maintain blood flow better in those muscles, and then I don't lose as much power towards the end of a really, really long climb, say when I'm training in Colorado or in the West Coast along California on some of the bigger hills that I might go to train for some of my ultra-endurance cycling events. So it's something that allows us to get a real live picture inside of what's going on to the muscles of interest. And as me as a cyclist, I find it extremely valuable, just like a power meter, cadence, and those things that we would normally monitor. I can't see doing one without the other on a personal level, because it's really showing me my physiology in response to the actual workload or challenge that I personally have while I'm doing that.